Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, the Monday night Zoom edition. Bitcoin was kind of putzing around 38, 39,000 over the weekend, had a nice move over 40K today. Let's go to the chart. And you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yep.
All right, thank you. And I always ask that for you new folks because one time I talked for 5 or 10 minutes about something that was on the screen that I thought was on the screen and it wasn't. So anyway, seeking that confirmation. Okay, on the Bitcoin day chart, we've got still trading in this range between about 48 and 39, dipped briefly below today and then shot back above it. We just had our UTC time go by at 5 p.m. Pacific. So this candle's today's close. And then we're opening up a new one, also trending green. So we're still in the range though towards the bottom of it. But here's something interesting. I'll talk about divergence in more detail a little later, but on the day chart, the only two times we had bullish divergence this calendar year, we got 20% moves. So we had it back in January, 20+% move in about 18 days on Bitcoin. Had it again here in March, 20%, 14 days, and it just printed yesterday. So if the trend follows, we should be working our way back up towards the top of the range. Hopefully we break through, but we haven't been able to do that the last couple of times. So I'm thinking we're going to be generally bullish for the next couple of weeks based on this information, but everyone's got an opinion about Bitcoin. Speaking of such, anyone else want to chime in on this? What they think their predictions for Bitcoin for the end of the month and first couple of weeks of May? Fine, I'll move on to Ethereum. Okay, got the day chart up here on Ethereum. And we've had mostly higher lows, so that's good. That's good news. And I just drew this trend line in, this diagonal line. Hopefully we keep bouncing off of this as it moves up. Like you can see this get over 4,000, especially since I just put an Ethereum long in earlier this morning. It's doing pretty well right now. But yeah, looking pretty good here on Ethereum. I wonder if we have any news on the Ethereum Forever Postponed 2.0. I heard it's postponed again, but I don't recall the details. Not really seeing anything newsworthy here to talk about. This is kind of cool though. Fort Worth City Council voting on crypto resolutions, probably if they're going to accept crypto or not. Crypto friendly, interesting. More cities should do that. All right, any questions on Bitcoin and Ethereum before I move over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some trades? Okay, Altcoin Alert. Most of you folks are from this group, a subset of CryptNation. It's an information source I use every day to locate potential trades. And there's a few ways I like to do it. First thing I do is I sort by this AA score. And generally, this will tell you what it means if you hover over here on this question mark, if you remember. But it's essentially coins that are beaten down that are due for a comeback. And this UBT is at 84.1. I looked at this quickly, and it's on Bittrex or by I don't know some exchange that has practically no volume. So I don't see any value in looking at that. And I'm looking for AA scores of 80 or above, and that's the only one. But I was looking at Loopring when I was looking at this about an hour ago. Is it like 82? So we'll go ahead and look at that, even though it doesn't quite qualify. And I just happen to have it open. So I want to look at this is my basic chart. It's got divergence, the money flow index, RSI, the MACD. These are pretty well-known indicators. And then for divergence, it's essentially a disagreement between the indicators and the price action, the candles. So bullish divergence occurs when the candles come down, but the indicator goes up, and bearish is the opposite. So if you're a spot trader and you're just looking for movements up, you want to try to catch bullish divergence, and probably on a larger time frame than the 5-minute. And we'll get back to how I use divergence shortly, but for now, I want to look at the day chart and get the big picture of loop ring. Had a big pump, nearly $4 back in November, lost most of that. Had another little pump here at the end of March, lost most of that. Now it's just kind of going sideways here around 90 cents. On the hour, yeah, it was trending down pretty hard, but then a nice move up today. The 5-minute, trending up today, but these are the Bollinger Bands. It's towards the top of the Bollinger Band, which isn't where I like to enter. If you've seen the dip training that I've sent you, I'm looking for a move like this. Here's a squeeze, here's a bubble, 1, 2, 3, probably get in right around here. Up, down, then I get a nice profit, about 3% here. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for on dip trades. If you're trading spot, if you pile up some 2s and 3% profits, your balance can go pretty, quicker than you think. And then a lot of us trade leverage. I know I do. I would have traded this at 10x leverage, so that would have been a 30% profit for me. But I was not doing trading at midnight, so I didn't get this trade. But I wanted to show you an example of the kind of 1, 2, 3 dip trades that we're looking for. All right, so we don't have anything close to that right now. How do we anticipate that? What I like to do to be alerted of a potential 1, 2, 3 dip trade is go to my 15-minute chart and set an alert on the RSI. It's my favorite way to do this. So generally on the 15-minute, when the RSI drops below the 30 value, which is considered oversold, it starts to come back up, and that's usually a dip trade on the 5-minute chart. And to set an alert on the RSI is pretty simple. Well, actually, how do you get the RSI in your chart? I've done videos about how I set up my TradingView charts. You might want to check those out if you don't know how. But you can just click on this indicator, community scripts, RSI, and there you go. This is the one provided by TradingView. This is the updated version. That's the one I'm using. So I add my alert. I want this to be crossing up on the 30 value. Once per bar close, that's what I usually do. And then I call this RSI, in this case would be a long. And that's how you do that. You can do the same thing on the MFI on the 20 value. On divergence, we're looking for bullish divergence. Right click over here. Well, let me show you how to download this one. Same as I just showed you for the RSI. Type in divergence, and this is the one I like. Divergence for many indicators, version 4. Make sure you get version 4. It's better than the prior versions by Lonesome, whatever his name is. But you can see nearly 12,000 downloads on this. A lot of people like it. So do that and right click on here. Positive divergence detected. Once per bar close. That's important on here, because if you do it like only once, sometimes this will flicker and go away. It's what we call repainting. So use your once per bar close and bullish or bullish divergence, something like that for your alert name, and you're good to go. Okay, now last week we also talked about some trend-based alerts. What I just talked about were dip trades. What if you want to catch an existing trend or catch a new trend? There's another approach we can do. And I've got this set up. This is called the Chandelier Exit. And it's alert friendly, and it shows when the trend reverses. I'd say it's about 60% accurate. So if you're going to use this, be ready to ladder buy, because that other 40%, you're going to have to deal with that. So what I like to do is you can download this Chandelier Exit by Everget. And then you can, and I use these other indicators for confirmation, but you can just do you can get better entries on the Chandelier Exit better than just winging it. So even if that's the only thing you use, it's better than nothing. But had I been up at 4:40 a.m. And looking at theta, then I would have liked this trade. It gives me a buy signal on the chandelier. I've got one of my confirmation, which is a trend strength ADX. It's green. The MFI is trending up. The RSI is trending up. The squeeze momentum, the last one here, doesn't quite agree, but the red is starting to work towards its green. So overall, I like this. I would have been in, and I would have gone sideways. Probably would have looked to get out where I see this resistance here. So 4.6%, it's a really good day trade in 10 hours. And I'm probably going to be on 10x leverage, so that's 40+%. So that's good stuff using the Chandelier Exit. So that's a trend-based approach. So I know I've gone fast, but I've shown you a dip trading approach and a trend-based approach. Now theta, I already had this up because I was looking at this morning. LRC is what we were looking at. So how do we deal with this now? Okay, LRC, buy signal at the exact same time. That's probably when Bitcoin started working its way up. So I'm going to right click on here, put an alert on the CE. It goes to the buy. You can do it direction change, or if you want to short something, you can put sell. With the CE buy, I usually use once per bar close, because it'll repaint too if the values change before the candle closes. And then this is my Chandelier Exit. That's what I would call. Actually, I use the information sources for my alert name. So this would have been long-term, or like an AA score alert, 80.2, whatever it was when I looked at it this morning. But however you sort your stuff is your own business. But I like to use my information sources and my alert names, because it's already going to tell you, it's already telling me here it's a Chandelier Exit buy, and it's also telling me what the name of the coin is and the time frame. So that's the other information I like to get, is where my information came from. Okay, well, any questions on LRC, the dip trade, or the Chandelier approach? Okay, Jay is asking, how would you ladder buy in a day trade? That's a good question. I've done a bunch of videos on ladder buying. I did mostly topical based videos in 2021, and ladder buying is covered several times in those. So you might want to check those out. But let's, yeah, we have a hypothetical here pretty well set up already. Let's say I take this buy here yesterday afternoon, and it's trending up. I got green, trend up. The squeeze momentum doesn't agree, but it's starting to move in my direction. So, and it goes against me almost immediately, down. For me as a leverage trader, I'm going to look at the liquidation price, and I'm usually on 10x leverage, so that's going to be around 9 to 10%. So, if you're spot trading, I used to usually 5 to 10% is my ladder buy point. So let's go with the spot trading. So I probably would have taken another position in this vicinity, probably 7 or 8%. So let's say I do my ladder buy here, and it's going to be the same amount that I put in on the first buy. So I've got my first buy up here around 90 cents, 91 cents. and my second purchase here, around 83 cents, 83.5 cents. And so what I usually do is I set my exit for slightly above the first price. Now that's just how I like to do it. Other people would look and go a little over halfway, but I want my first position to break even. I want my second position to do really well. So that's what happens here. I get out. Actually, it hasn't quite made it yet. But let's say I got out right this minute. My first position would have a 1.6% loss. But my second position, which was down here, would have almost a 7% gain. So when you average those out, it's like about a 3% gain, and that's a pretty good day trade. So that's kind of quickly how I do ladder buys. Again, to learn more about that, you should probably check out the videos I've done that I did last year. So any questions on loop ring? All right, let's go back to Altcoin Alert. And the other sort I like to do with this is a long-term sentiment sort. Sentiment is the Twitter data, the word on the street, what are people talking about? And then I want to match that up with this Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator, combines some other indicators. You can hover over this question mark and see what it does. So I'm looking for bullish on both of them. So I get very bullish on long-term sentiment and Elder Impulse on Doge. But it's already up 19%, almost 20%, which makes me think it's played out, but let's look at it anyway. I like shorting Doge. I don't like longing it. It's a little prejudice I have because I think it's a crap project, but okay, so the biggest move of this was 34 cents up here in October. Pretty big crash. Got back up to 18 cents, dropped, but had a really big move today. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, 40% move in one day. There was some more Elon Musk stuff going on today, something with Twitter, him buying all of it. That tends to, whenever he does things on Twitter, it tends to affect Doge. 5-minute chart. Yeah, it's trending up, dipping a little bit. Pretty good distance between the Bollinger Bands, so it's not as squeezy as it looks. Nearly 7% between the two. This might be one better for a trend trade than a dip trade. So let's go over to the trend trade. Look up Doge. So the buy signal kicks in here. It's overall bullish. So it looks like it's kind of mellowing out now. Put your alert on the buy once per bar close, and long-term sentiment buy. That's the one I use the most, which is why it's the top there on my list. To be candid, I'd be more interested in shorting this. Short. There, I just made an alert. And then you should see those over here. There's my long-term sentiment buy, Doge 20-minute chart. All right, and then you just wait for the alert to go off. That's actually way easier than doing the dip trade stuff I showed you before with the different indicators and divergence and things like that. There's another way to do that. Let's say you don't want to deal with any of this stuff, any of the indicators. All you want to do is look at prices. I think it's pretty easy to identify support and resistance. Like if you look at this chart here, see all these candles are stopping right about the same place. So I can put a quick line there. Right about 13.85 cents. That's before the big move. Is it going to come all the way back? We don't know. So that's one support area I see. I see another one here. This group of candles and this group of candles around 15, 15.3 cents. So you could just set an alert in this on one of these areas here and wait for it to come down and try to catch a dip that way. You can draw a line and set an alert on the line if you want, but if you don't want to draw lines, I don't blame you. I don't like my charts being cluttered up with a whole bunch of lines. And you just look at the area that you see as the support, add your alert. And only once, that's the only option you get. And then you're good to go. Click on create and it'll go off when it hits that price level. All right. Any questions on Doge? All right, we'll look at one more altcoin alert, then we'll work our way over to iCoinPro. So we had Doge there, NMR. This one could be a little bit better than that. It didn't have as big a move, just under 10%. Got very bullish on sentiment, bullish on daily, on the Elder Impulse. So I think that's worth checking out. Let's see, is that my list? No. It's on Binance. Day chart. It's been up as high as 62.51, plenty of room to move. Big move today, but mostly a wick, so it usually means it doesn't have, that move doesn't have staying power. It's trending down pretty hard from there. It could consolidate and go back up again. So I don't use divergence on the 5-minute chart. It's not very useful, but say 15 to 20 and above, it can be predictive. Pretty small distance here, very squeezy. Rather see a dip like this and then a shot back up. We don't have that on this coin at the moment. So our support area, it's pretty much hit it now. So we could go, if it is consolidating, if it's going to move up again, it'll probably drop somewhere in between this area here and where it is now. So this middle area here around 26 might be the place to put your price alert if you want to catch that. And then we could do what I prefer to do is to do alerts on the RSI. Set this at crossing up on the 30, on the 15-minute chart. And that will usually be the second dip on a 5-minute chart once you pop over there. If you prefer the MFI, you can do the same thing on the 20. Get our divergence back. We do have bullish divergence here with 3 indicators. That's not bad, but it's pretty much been invalidated by this move down. So wouldn't surprise me if we got another bullish divergence printing fairly soon. With that in mind, you could put your divergence alert here once per bar close and you're good to go. Or you could go over to the Chandelier Exit and look for what would happen in that scenario is we would click on the buy, add an alert. So we'd anticipate a dip and then another buy being printed. Then you catch that second one. So let's see if I can find an example. Yeah, like this is trending up, it gets a sell, and then it prints the buy one, even though that's not very helpful. Eventually you get out of that. with pretty nice move here. So, okay. Okay. In the chat, I heard a trader say that sometimes those tight sideways are whales coiling and then price will shoot up. That's true. Is that coiling happening? You just see high volume. If it was whale coiling, maybe, maybe not. Not all whales trade on exchanges. So yeah, and then she mentions that what I'm working on is a shorter time frame. Yeah, you tend to see whale action on the 1 hour chart at the minimum. So
is there a way to find the best, say, chandelier buy opportunities by using TradingView?
I don't think it's specific to the Chandelier Exit, but you know, it's good to create a list of coins that you're interested in. You can sort by the change percent. I do this for my scalping. So like I would look at CeeLo and Jasmy as scalping up, you know, and then maybe we just had the day change on the UTC time. So these values aren't very useful, but 8 hours from now, well, actually more than that, like 14, 15 hours from now when I'm up for Tuesday, then we have some bigger numbers here to look at. And then the other way to do it would be to open up a TradingView window and do some of the sorts that they have there. I haven't done one of those in a long time, so I don't want to do that here and mess things up. But
Maybe later it might be interesting to
yeah,
see that.
yeah, it's you could probably do a quick Google search, you know, how to find movers on TradingView, and it would show you that. So, but if that
Okay.
doesn't work for you, contact me. We'll set something up. All right.
Is it possible to look at NKN
Let me
as
look
a?
at iCoinPro options, and then if we have time, we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So, yeah, Robert's talking about some trades he did. I had a good weekend too, Robert. So we'll talk about that shortly. I did some straddling this weekend, going long and short on the same coin, but that's a little beyond the scope of this this teaching. So, all right, so okay, iCoinPro. So, any questions on Altcoin Alert before I move over there? We're running a little late, so okay, iCoinPro. Quick summary, iCoinPro this is very similar. The person who taught me day trading spun off from this and taught his own thing a little bit more narrow than iCoinPro, but I like to share this with people who are taking an interest in day trading. It's a very conservative method, just piling up, you know, ones, twos, and threes, and building your balance slowly like that. And it's kind of scalping / day trading. But I you know, teaches the 1, 2, 3 dip, has a really good training on that. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out. It's in my emails. And if you join, I make a small commission, but not really enough to market something I don't care about. So, you know, I do think this is a really good place to start. And I use 2 of their information sources nearly every day. We'll start with the Rsi Spy. We talked a little bit about the RSI already. This gives me the option to sort coins by the 1 hour RSI. There's a 4 hour and a 1 day. So when I see values of 30 and below, those are oversold and usually due for a rebound. These are potentially dip trades, but we don't really have any today. We've only got one. It's a Bitcoin pair. I wish they had a way to exclude Bitcoin pairs because I don't trade them, but anyway, they don't. And so all these are Bitcoin pairs that are showing up. The first USDT pair is a spell token, which is above 40. I wouldn't consider that a good entry. You know, looking for below 30. So unfortunately, we don't really have any good candidates for dip trades based on this information. If you're a leverage trader and you want to short something, there's a lot, lots of good information here on things that are overbought, that are above 70 on the RSI and due to come back down. I traded Ape over the weekend and had a nice result with it. So I shorted that and longed it. So this would be a candidate for shorting, but I'm not going to go over that here. Doge as well. You saw me just do that alert for the Chandelier exit on Doge. So we don't really have a good coin to look at based on the Rsi Spy. So I'm going to bounce over here to the other one I like, which is a Buddy coin crawler. And this one is named off the Buddy coin concept, which Justin, co-founder of iCoinPro, likes to do. He goes over his information, usually based on the Buddy coin crawler and the Rsi Spy and a couple of the others, to figure out what coins he wants to follow that day. It's usually 3 or 4, can be up to 5, can be as low as 2. So I've done this most of my time in crypto as a day trader. 3 to 5 coins that I set alerts on, that I look at, and that I follow for that day. So this will help you find those. I'm looking for values 5% or higher in this average low to SMA line sort. And the low is a 24-hour low, which is a percentage. And the SMA line is that pink line you saw between the Bollinger Bands and the charts we were looking at. So 5% or higher usually indicates a coin that's moving. We've got this one, Render token, 6.71. If you get double digits on this, that's even better. So, and it's got this handy drop-down menu. You can click Trading View and get a chart open. I've already done that earlier, so I've got this chart open for Render. Listed on Binance in November and just working its way down ever since. On the 1 hour, mostly dropping is where a lot of the coins, but today's movement was better, up about 11%. On the 5-minute, it's really squeezy, at least visually. Yeah, less than 3%. So it's just riding this little squeezy area here on the 5-minute chart. I'm not seeing a good entry. I want to see something like this, squeeze, and it's bubbling out. 1, 2. We don't really get a third. 1, 2, almost a third dip here. So if you don't get a third dip, what I like to do, and if it's still trending, it's going sideways or going up a little bit, I'll go to my MACD and see if it crosses. The MACD is kind of a slower indicator than the others. It's a little more conservative, but when I see the blue line cross the orange line, I might be inclined to get in. Maybe I might also look for another indicator to support me. The RSI and the MFI are trending up a little bit, but it's mostly going sideways. Might even wait for divergence, set a 5-minute divergence to confirm, but I don't use that very often. To be candid, I probably would have gotten in here on the screen candle. Goes down. It's not cooperating. So I'm down like 2%, but it goes back up. And I'm not seeing a really obvious place to get out. I probably would have gotten out like right around here. 5.9%. So I would have been in this for about 8 hours, but over 5%. It's a really good day trade. But I was not up at 1 a.m. to do this trade. What do we do now? That's an example of a 1, 2, 3 dip. We don't have that. So we could set the alerts like I've shown you already on the 15-minute chart, on the RSI, on the MFI, or divergence. So those are options. When something's just going sideways like this, yeah, I'm not always sure what to do. We could go over to the Chandelier Exit. It's got a buy going now. That was way back from this morning. So I think I'd want some proof this is actually going to do what I want. So I put my alert on the buy. And so it'll probably do, it might do something like this: buy, sell, buy, sell. You know, the buy, sell, buy, I probably would have gotten in here in this scenario. Here's a ladder buy situation. So get in here and I'm up like 1%, then drops down here. I probably buy in here around 8% or so. And then it gets me out. Like, I'd probably still be waiting on this a little bit, waiting for it to go to about 177. So my first position breaks even and my second position does really well. All right, any more questions on Altcoin Alert or iCoinPro? All righty then. Somebody wanted me to look at something. Is that Mark?
That was a NKN. It
NKN?
looks like it might be ready to move. I was looking at it in Altcoin Alert too.
Okay.
You gave me a little movement so far.
Okay, it's had a buy signal on the 20 minutes since early this morning. So we've missed most of that first move. So you could put the alert on here like I showed it on the other ones.
I just wonder if it's going to go further because I got in right after your buy point. It looks like it might go some more.
Okay.
That was Chandelier again.
The first one. Now I'm back over to the where I'm looking for a dip trade. This is so yeah, it's towards the high end of that. So dip trade's not realistic at the moment. If you think it's going to dip a little and then trend up again, yeah, something like buy, sell, buy, then you can put your alert on here, or you can jump in now and throw the dice.
I just think it has a little bit of room left.
Yeah, I mean, on
after
this
Tuesday,
chart,
I think I'm gonna get out of it.
yeah, we got resistance here at about 21, just under 21 cents. So, you know, 3.7%. I don't know. That's not enough of a move for me to buy up here. I think the risk reward's a little off on that. So I would want to dip, you know, some profit taking and then maybe move back up from there. That's why I like using this chandelier sometimes, because it'll give me a sell signal and then another buy signal, and that second buy signal will be the one that moves. So that's how I would approach that, but
Thanks.
you're welcome. Any questions on NKN or any other coins you guys want to look at? Okay, let's see. Robert, I think you were you in the, was that you in the chat who wanted to talk about your
Right.
your
That was
trade?
me. Yeah. I mean, I did use I started off using the 24-hour change column sort on Saturday morning because there really wasn't very much. I wasn't finding anything that looked interesting in any of the other sorts. So I went back to what I had success with during the week. And instead of finding something that was beaten down, I did what was up a lot, which happened to be curve, which seemed very unusual. I mean, it won't be on today's chart. I mean, this was Saturday.
You posted that and I traded it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Yeah, I did okay.
Good. Yeah, I ended up with two shorts. What was it? It was an unusual story, I thought, because curve had gone up I think it was over 10%. It went up a lot in just one 5-minute candle. When I looked at that, trying to figure out why, I saw a news story saying that another coin called Balancer was going to be using the Curve token that had to be locked up in order to vote for governance.
Mm.
But the story, when I looked at it after the fact, was 2 weeks old, but maybe the voting was about to happen and people needed the coin. So I looked at both the coins. Curve had gone up a lot, and Balancer, which is a small token, had gone down a lot. So I timed the chart, and when I felt it was the top of the change in trends, I shorted Curve 2 times and did very well with that. And then I longed a Balancer and won with that. So I got 3 winning trades on Saturday with it.
All right, cool. So that's trading off some information, and that's that's cool. And this is kind of advanced stuff, what he's talking about. And I do want to, point something out too. We've been having this trade, we haven't had giant moves, and we've had, like 8 to 10% moves, but it's been a while since we had a giant move in one day. So we keep ranging in this area. So I don't know if I recommend this, but what I usually do is set alerts for longs, and if I see some room to the downside, I'll trade it both directions. So I've done that.
Yeah, if you pull up the Curve chart,
Yeah.
you'd be able to you'd probably can find the jump.
Okay. But the point is, I was trying to make, we'll look at Robert's thing in a moment, but trading since we're stuck in this range, I mean, it's going to keep doing this. You can trade things in both directions, but be ready when there's a big move and you're stuck in the opposite. You might have to take a loss in that scenario. So.
And by the way, the other coin, which is a smaller token, under 1 million, Balancer, that's gone up over 10% today. So
yeah, I wonder.
it had gotten beaten up, and sure enough, the trend reversed on it, as I thought it would.
Yeah, and this is the sort Robert's talking about, sorting by 24-hour change, on Altcoin Alert. You can see Balancer here is the second, best moving coin today. So CRV. Let's look at the hour chart. All right, so Robert was trading probably this. This was Friday. And you probably caught this downward movement on Saturday.
Saturday morning, probably
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. So I think I caught this downward movement and then this upward movement. So it worked out pretty well for me. I've been doing that from time to time, depending on what I have available in my account. So yep, good stuff. All right, guys, let's wrap this up pretty quick. We're on about 45 minutes. Any other questions, pressing matters, things to discuss? All right. Then for those of you in Carbon, please hang around. I'm going to stop this recording, take a short break, and we'll come back and discuss matters Carbon. If you're not in Carbon, want to hang around, you're free to do that. If you want to leave, you can do that too. For those of you who joined me live today, I appreciate it. If you're watching on the recording, please check out the information in the comments, and they help support this channel. And I will see you guys a week from Friday. I'm taking a vacation. I'll be gone Friday through Monday, but coming back a week from Friday. So if you're on the recording, that'll be the next one you see. Talk to you soon.